Sometimes we get stressed and worried about things, and in the end, everything works out okay. I think I went to India the first time in either late 2010 or early 2011, and I went with a number of other men, John Sensnick, Ken Burkholder, Lester Weiler, and I, and we flew into Hyderabad, and then our host picked us up, um, and he was from Vijayawada, and so he was going to drive us to Vijayawada. So we asked him, uh, how long does it take to go from Hyderabad to Vijayawada? And he said, oh, about 4 hours. We said, okay, so we left and we stopped for tea first, and which is very important in India. And then we left and we drove about 3.5 hours. And then he said, okay, there's some gas stations here. We're going to stop. That's a good place to go to the washroom and we'll get some tea. And so we're thinking, well, it was supposed to be 4 hours from the airport to his house, so we must be about there. So we went in, went to the washroom, we went into the restaurant, we're getting tea, and then we said to our host, how far is it now? How long is it now to your house? And he said, oh, we're about halfway. And, oh, okay. And sure enough, it took us about 7 hours. So we were there for a number of days, and then the day was coming when we were ready to go back to the airport in Hyderabad. So the day before, our flight was at 9:45 in the evening out of Hyderabad. So the day before, we were talking about going to the airport, and we were asking what time we're going to leave for the airport. And our host was saying, "Well, what time is your flight?" And we said, "It's at 9:45." I said, "That's almost 10 o'clock. You should be there by 8 o'clock, and so we can leave at 4." And we were like, "No, no, 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 no. We want to leave before that. Like we want to be at the airport early." And it took us 7 hours to drive from the airport to here. Oh, he said, "I do it all the time in 4 hours. No problem. We can easily make it in 4 hours." And we said, "No, we want to leave earlier." And he was saying, "Well, what time do you want to leave?" We thought, "Well, we thought maybe we should leave around 11." You'll be sitting in the airport all day. You'll be there, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're going to have 6, 7 hours in the airport. Well, we said we like to get to the airport early, so we kept negotiating, and finally we agreed that we would leave at 12:30. So we thought that sounded okay. So we got ready and got our things packed the next day, and we're about ready to go. And then um, um, 12 o'clock came, and 12:30 came, and so we asked our host's wife, "Where is our host?" And she said, "Oh, he went to get one of the vehicles serviced. He'll be back soon." So we waited, and 1 o'clock came, and he still wasn't back. A little after 1 o'clock, he came back, and then we thought, okay, now we're ready to go. So we loaded up the luggage on top of the vehicle, and we were thought we were ready to go. And then our host said, "No, no, I want the children from the orphanage to sing for you first, and you have to pray for them." And so the children from the orphanage came over, they sang for us, and we prayed for them. And then we got in the vehicle and thought, okay, now we're ready to go. But then he decided he wants to take another driver, as we were taking two vehicles. So he called somebody else to come. And finally, about 1:45, we left for the airport. Well, I was nervous. I was stressed. But our host was like, no, no problem. We'll be there plenty of time. 4 hours to the airport. Well, we were driving, and I was watching the kilometer signs as how far it was to Hyderabad, and I could see that it was taking us about the same amount of time that it had when we came. And uh, but when we get closer to Hyderabad, there was four-lane highway. So saying to our host, I'm a little concerned about, us getting to the airport. Oh, he said, we'll get to the four-lane highway, no problem. Then we'll go faster. We'll easily be there in time. So we got to the gas stations that were halfway, and our host said, "Okay, we're going to stop here and go to the washroom." And we said, "Oh, no, no, we want to go to the airport." And We don't need to go to the washroom. He said, I know what's going to happen. We're going to get past here 45 minutes from now. You guys are going to want to go to the washroom, and there's no washroom between here and the airport that you guys want to use. So, we'll stop. You go to the washroom. So we lost. So we stopped. We went to the washroom. While we were in the washroom, he said, "Okay, we'll go in the restaurant and have tea." And we were like, "No, we don't want to have tea. We want to go to the airport. Like, look at what time it is, and we need to go to the airport." Oh, he said, "We have plenty of time, lots of time." And we lost. So we went to the restaurant. We're having tea. I was sitting next to our host's wife while we were in the restaurant, and I thought she seemed a little nervous. And I said to her, "Are you worried about something or nervous about something?" And she said, "Yes, I'm worried that we're not going to get you to the airport on time." So I said to our host, "Your wife is worried that we're not going to get to the airport on time." Oh, he said, "She worries about everything. That's her job." And but he said, "All the stuff she worries about never happens. But it's her job. She worries about it, and it's okay. But just because she's worried doesn't mean we're going to be late to getting to the airport. That doesn't mean anything." So we drank tea and then we went to the airport. Well, we got into Hyderabad, into the outskirts of the city, and the two vehicles had gotten separated. So we stopped to wait for the other vehicle. I asked our host, and by that time it was like 8 o'clock. So I asked our host, how long does it take to get from here to the airport? Oh, he said 15 minutes, maybe 20. I told the other man with me, that probably means about 45 minutes. So sure enough, we got in the vehicles, we left, we pulled into the airport about 8:45. And our host never seemed stressed, except when we got to the airport, he did say, "Maybe you should run." And we said, "Yeah, we think too, maybe we should." So we grabbed our stuff and we ran in. One of the fortunate things was by the time we got to the check-in counter, there was no one else in line. So we checked in, we went through immigration, and we got to the gate about 5 minutes before they started boarding. So, hey, everything worked out great. It was no problem. All my stress and all my tension for 7 hours sitting in the vehicle about whether we were going to make it was all wasted. We were at the airport 5 minutes before the gate, before they started boarding. Now, when I do an international flight, I like to be at the gate a little more than 5 minutes before they start boarding, but it works. I was on the flight, I got home, everything turned out fine. No problem.